Cameron. So I don't know. Give everybody a few minutes here to get in, and then we can talk about what's going on a little bit. So, and I have not downloaded the graphics that you've made yet on here, so I'm still using the old stuff. Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I'm just have to kind of. It's just kind of one of those things where you have to just kind of see how it all goes. It's not ideal. It's not perfect, but I've got to get these audio issues settled before I can really dial into this and get it working right. So, but I'm waiting on everybody to join here. So, and sometimes for whatever reason on Streamlabs, it takes people a little bit longer to join on here than it otherwise would. Because as of right now, it says we have nobody watching us. Oh, we got 29 viewers here. I see that now. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Ken Johnson, and Cameron Lindsay is down there on the right below me here. And we're trying something a little bit different. We're trying something called Streamlabs. So you may hear an echo. If you do, let me know because I hear it. I guess I'm hearing it through maybe Cameron's, and you probably hear my dogs barking in the background too. But I'm a dog guy, so you might hear an echo. If you do, let me know. So yeah, Corey, I just got off the TikTok live a minute ago. I couldn't figure out how to bring Cameron in on that. So, but Cameron, as of right now, and I'm gonna, and at least for the time being, Cameron, I'm going to turn your volume down, or actually, I'm going to turn the desktop audio down here a little bit. I think so. Maybe that'll help. So maybe I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right, Eric, to move to headset. I've got this brand new computer though, and I can't figure out how to do some of the stuff with it. So I can't figure out how to connect what am I trying to say here? I can't figure out how to connect to my earbuds there to the my Bluetooth stuff to my computer. So I really don't know how to do it. So yeah, I'd like for you if you know how to work a gaming PC, come on. A lot of stuff about this thing I don't understand. I'm trying to use the Streamlabs too, but anyway. So this is kind of a work in progress, but we'll kind of wait and see how it goes. And with Eric, you see, I got Cameron there. I can also bring you in at some point in time here too. I'd love to have you in. So, and I'll answer you guys' questions as I get them. I see them over here, so I can answer those in the best I can. So. I may have turned Cameron's audio down too much. I don't know, but I've got him turned back up again now. So uh, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Hold on, I've got my audio here on this turned way down. I'm gonna have to go to a headset because I cannot. There's too much of an echo in here. So, but anyway, let's start talking about what's going on here. We'll deal with the issues after this. So let's talk about what's going on weather-wise. Cameron, say hello to everybody. Cameron, aren't you supposed to be at work right now? Well, you know what I say. I say that weather never stops, and just because you're not in the studio does not mean that you are um, um, does not mean that you are not working because weather never stops. It's 24/7. Anybody that's in the weather business will know that this is what we love to do, and we work and we never stop. Isn't that right, Cameron? Well, people are saying they cannot hear you. Well, you do sound a little bit muffled and low. Your I don't know, your audio on my end looks good. So you look fine to me. I don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So all right. Well, I do appreciate you guys. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on here with this He can turn it up. I've got it. I've got Cameron turned up as loud as I can get him. I can't get Cameron any louder than he already is. So, um, and on my end, his audio levels look good. Nobody can hear you though, Cam. So, I mean, other people have it do it without any problems at all. So I don't know what the deal is. So nobody can hear you though, huh? I can hear you just fine. I don't know what the deal is. So I don't know. I don't. I just don't know. I just don't know. We haven't tested it enough, and we knew this was going to be a work in progress. So, Cameron, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to. I'm probably just going to end the collab cam here, and I'm just going to go to straight up graphics and just talk. Okay, I know you need to go back to work anyway. So, all right, we'll figure this thing out. So I'm going to stop the disconnect that. So. All right, guys, I am sorry about that. I'm going to have to turn my volume down right here so I don't have an echo there. I do apologize about that. Um, we're talking about this winter storm for Sunday. I haven't done many updates. I've been real busy today. I'm busy every day, so I didn't have a chance to really do much here today. But I do want to take the time to talk a little bit about what is going on for tomorrow. And I continue to reiterate that tomorrow is a really hard. Anytime we're forecasting snow, it's a hard forecast. But tomorrow, to me, looks like an even harder forecast than normal, because you're not dealing with your traditional winter storm. Where we have cold air. You walk outside and it's cold, and then the precipitation falls. Usually speaking around here, we get the sleet, we get the rain, we get the freezing rain, we get the sleet, then we get the snow falling behind that. And it's usually, already cold enough or about to be cold enough. Well, if you've been watching me this week, I've been talking about how we have this strong, powerful storm system that's going to be moving overhead tomorrow. And under the storm itself, there's going to be this pocket of cold air through most layers of the atmosphere. This will be up there, let's say, just above the Earth's surface and then all the way up through. So the atmosphere profile, anyway, looks great for snow, but then you jump down below the cloud deck and you get down to the Earth's surface, and the temperatures are going to be above freezing because this is what's called dynamics. The dynamics, or the energy with the storm system, is what's producing the cold air, and since it's suspended aloft, that's where the cold air is inside the storm. Remember, we're underneath it, but inside the storm is where the colder temperatures are located. But there are situations that will happen that will compensate even at the Earth's surface for a lack of cold air. And the thing that you look at is you got to have a way to pull that cold air down out of the clouds. And the way it happens usually is with heavy precipitation. Heavy snow, and usually the snowflakes are able to reach the ground. Remember, they're falling through the atmosphere as a snowflake, and they don't have enough time to all the way melt before they get to the Earth's surface. So they do fall to the ground as a wet snowflake. And then when you start throwing a lot of snowflakes, a lot of melting snowflakes into into the atmosphere, and you'll have to forgive the dogs there. So it'll have a tendency to cool the atmosphere, have a tendency to bring temperatures down itself. So marginal temperatures still tomorrow, but at least it looks like we're going to at least have a chance anyway for some heavy snow in some areas. So y'all have heard me ramble on enough. So let's talk a little bit about the what's going on right now. So what's going on right now is not a whole lot actually. We don't have a whole lot going on at the present time, to be honest about it. This is the radar, and if you look at the radar, we had some showers around earlier in the day, but we really don't have a lot going on, at least at the present time. If we look at the radar, there are some showers beginning to show up, but they're well southwest of us. And this is kind of the leading edge of the storm system itself, just now coming into play. This is all rain. It's falling there east of Lubbock, and it's east of the Amarillo area. So if we zoom in a little bit closer there, you can see these showers. These showers are going to increase eastward tonight. into tomorrow. I do look for the rain to pick up late tonight and into tomorrow morning. And some of this rain is going to come down very heavy at times. So, you may look outside in the morning and it might just be just wet where you are. And that's what we're expecting. But as the storm center itself intensifies and moves over us, that's when things try to get a little bit more interesting. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up some weather data here to look at and try to explain to you all what's going on and how all this is going to. Well, let's go to College DuPage. I like the COD page better, I think, than the Pivotal. Sometimes I like Pivotal, sometimes I like College DuPage, but we're going to go into the College DuPage here, and we're going to look at some model data. And I think I have to choose that source, so give me a second here. We still got radar up, so let's go in here. And let's choose this source here. All right. Let me kind of make some adjustments on the screen. You may or may not see the adjustment. I'm trying to get it to where you can see the graphic here. So give me just a second here while I try to. For some reason, it's not letting me make it bigger. It's trying to. Won't let me grab it the right way. So give me just a second here, folks, and we'll get into it. I don't know why it's not letting me make that thing bigger. I really have no idea. Sometimes when you try to work this darn technology, man, it just don't do what it's supposed to do. It really doesn't. So they need to make this stuff easier to use. And some people it's easy, but people like me, sometimes it just ain't that easy. So for whatever reason, I'm trying to zoom it in so y'all can see, and for whatever reason, it's not letting me grab it and make it bigger. I don't know why that is. And I do apologize for this. I know that y'all are wanting to know. Oh, there we go. I had to get out of studio mode to be able to do it, though. So give me just a second, y'all. And we're going to get to good stuff. So don't leave me. I know you're like, oh, come on, man. Really? So just give me a second here, and I'll have this stuff to where you can see it here in just a minute. Trying to make it as big and as pretty as I can. Let's make my camera here a little bit smaller. All right, there we go. All right, now. All right, so let's get to it now. All right, and I do apologize for that, everybody. Now that's better. All right. Thank you for not leaving me. All right, so let's talk about what's going on here. Let's do something first. I'm gonna go to the what's called the North American model first. I'm gonna show you what the storm center looks like. Now, I do understand that this stuff can be quite confusing sometimes. Go away! I don't want that on there. I don't know why it's showing this dang message here at the bottom. But anyway, so all those colors you see there, those are little disturbances in the atmosphere. But what I want you to really pay attention to is this. If you look there, notice the circle, the purple circle there, right over North Texas. That is our main storm energy itself. And underneath this, that's where the cold air is showing up at. Especially if you get over onto the northern and western side. I can actually show you that too here. But you can see that thing just kind of spins. Usually speaking, you want to be on the northwest side of these things here. That's where you typically find your heaviest snow, is on the northwest side. Yeah, that's usually where your pocket of cold air is located, and that's usually where the precipitation can kind of meet up with the coldest air. If we look at temperatures, and there is that where you notice that little white line, that represents the what would be considered freezing at 5,000 feet in the atmosphere, and anything on the other side of that's going to be temperatures well cold enough to support snow. And this would be there you are in the afternoon around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This right here would be about 6 o'clock at night. So you can see as we get into tomorrow evening, that pocket of cold air kind of gradually moves over more of North Texas. But you get a lot of that pocket of cold air stays and sits tomorrow morning over the Texas Panhandle, and then as we get into the afternoon, it gradually moves into western parts of Oklahoma and northwestern parts of Texas. And again, kind of on the west and northwest side of that little circle, that's where you typically find the best lift, the best, the most significant precipitation. And if we take a look at it here, this is just the North American computer model, and you can see for yourself there in the morning. Look at that heavy snow back to the west. And then in the afternoon, look at those dark blues showing up there in southwest Oklahoma, far northwest Texas, the Texas Panhandle. And one thing that you like to see, that you want to see for a more significant snowfall accumulation, is you've got to have it where the snow falls, especially in a situation like this. The snow has to fall heavily for an extended period of time. Especially when you're dealing with a situation where the temperatures are not below freezing at the Earth's surface. It's going to take it a while for that snow to accumulate, and eventually, even with snow melting, with it being a wet snow like this, the snow melts and it helps to gradually bring the temperatures down. Usually, this is called latent heat processes. When you throw a melting ice cube or a melting snowflake into a situation, it expels its temperatures, it expels the cold temperatures, and absorbs the warm to help it melt. So you're getting rid of the cold and added the cold back to the atmosphere. You're getting rid of the warm, so that can help bring the temperatures down. The latent heat process can typically lower temperatures to about 31, 32, maybe sometimes 30 degrees, but usually you don't see much fluctuation in that. Long duration, and in this situation, it's going to have to snow heavily for a long time. Now, the computer models, one thing that they're going to do is they're going to show, they're going to overdo, I think, snowfall amounts, because what the models are doing is they're looking at that and saying, hey, it's snowing, this much snow is falling out of the atmosphere, and this is how much snow would accumulate, liquid equivalent. This is how much snow would accumulate if every bit of this accumulated. So they're going to overdo it a bit, because I don't think they're going to take into account that melting. But I do think somebody's going to get dumped on. Here in Wichita Falls, this is the NAM model, brings us to some snow about 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and maybe a couple hours of snow there. Most of it's light to moderate. And you can see it kind of moving up towards Oklahoma City and then northeastern parts of Oklahoma from there, moving over into Illinois and kind of up that way. I told somebody on TikTok Live earlier, I didn't think Illinois was going to see much, but it looks like they will. So that's what the NAM model, and I'll show you what some of their accumulations. I'm going to show you, this is fun to look at. This is ridiculous. This is not going to happen, but this is what it's showing. Look at that. Right there, the NAM model, and that would be kind of out towards Paducah. Childress, Paducah area, snowfall amounts in the 30-inch range. That'd be some kind of record. I mean, I don't think that's going to happen, but that's fun to look at. Right here in the Falls, it has us at 4. It has Oklahoma City at 10, and then Southwest Oklahoma getting some heavy amounts too. But again, this is the computer model is overestimating this by a lot, I think. I don't think that. That would be, if you do 10 to 1, 1 inch of rain equals 10 inches of snow. That would suggest there's about 2 inches of rain that's going to fall out there, maybe 3. And then you convert that to snow, and it would say that's how much snow would fall. I'm sorry. Let me go back to my graphics here. I am sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I forgot that I was on full screen mode there. Thank you, Eric, for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. So now you can see the map. I'm sorry. All right. But there's your NAM model. That's what I was talking about, man. It is. Look at, isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? That'd be like 30 inches of snow back in here. I mean, that would be crazy. Can you imagine if it really snowed that? It does snow that much sometimes, like when they get those big nor'easters, and sometimes in the mountains, but here we don't get that much snow. But it would certainly be interesting to see how it all plays out. But again, the model there is just saying, hey, that's how much snow would accumulate if every snowflake accumulated. And I have no idea what them dogs are barking at. No idea. But that's the NAM model. Now I want to go over to what's called the 3K NAM. So there's the rain in the morning. Now I'm not. This is the higher resolution version of the NAM. I'm not a big believer in the NAM computer model anyway. I don't think it's not a. It's good. Usually it's good with thunderstorms in the spring, but a lot of times in the winter it's not real good. So there's the rain in the morning. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning. It's going to be raining pretty heavily. I think we see a good bit of rain overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But look at that. It brings that pocket of cold air, and it actually puts decent snow over most of North Texas and southern Oklahoma into early on Monday morning. I don't think that this solution is going to verify here. I think that this is going to probably not be correct. But it actually kind of lines up a little bit with the European model. But usually that's not correct. But this is what it's showing accumulation-wise. And I'm just showing you all the models. This is not my forecast. You can see it showing that heavy snow there. Really accumulating over, basically anywhere along the south of the Red River. Now, it's not, in these situations, it is certainly possible for, somebody to get some really heavy snow. It happens, okay? These situations do. And I do think somebody's going to get nailed, but, how much kind of remains to be seen. Let's go to the, all right, we're going to go to the Her computer model. This is my favorite computer model to look at. This is a high resolution computer model. Oftentimes it'll be a little bit overdone with the intensity, but it's usually pretty good in its placement and its timing on stuff. So this would be what radar would look like without the what's called precipitation mask, or without the colors on there showing the precipitation types. And there's your heavy rain overspreading, North Texas and southern Oklahoma. That would be after midnight, and this could be some pretty good storms down along the Interstate 35 from Dallas down to about San Antonio. Could be some severe weather with some of these here, maybe some hailers. You can almost see your counterclockwise spin, and notice that there's your low pressure system. You can see the counterclockwise. Look at that explosion of heavy precipitation on the west and northwest side of that there tomorrow. Especially, and what you're looking for here is, where does that precipitation stay the heaviest for the longest? And you can see for yourself how it just kind of pivots into this area over into here. So if the temperatures can line up, that's heavy enough precipitation to really bring a lot of snow down out of those clouds. And that could easily cool the atmosphere there. And there could wind up being some big snows with some of this here, over, especially kind of over into here. I'm talking about northwest Texas, southwest Oklahoma, kind of near or west of Vernon in those areas. So that's what radar would look like without the mask on it. Now, if we put on what's called the winter weather mask here, you'll see. And don't pay attention to this would usually represent the transition line would represent sleet, but this is not going to be a sleet. I'd be very surprised if we got sleet. This is going to be I think it's either a rain or a snow or nothing. But look at that dark blue, and look at that heavy snow by early tomorrow morning there in southwest Oklahoma, well, northwest of Oklahoma City, down towards maybe just west of Altus, kind of over near just west of Quanah, Texas, Childress, Texas, down towards Kroll and back towards Plainview. Look at that, those dark blues. That shows where there's going to be some heavy snow. And look how it just sits there and kind of expands throughout the afternoon. And then it does show that precipitation changing over to either a rain-snow mix or some snow over into Wichita Falls, maybe sometime late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. But based upon this, if this solution verifies, there's somebody over there near Vernon, Altus, those areas that could really get hammered with this. Let's check out their 10-to-1 solutions. Yeah, it's showing Vernon. Vernon at over a foot. It's showing Lawton, just north of Lawton, about 17, 18 inches up there, and it kind of continues into Oklahoma City. That's probably going to be, again, that's probably overdone. But I just can't help but feel like somebody over in the southeastern Texas Panhandle and far west and northwest Texas is going to get it on this one. I think the weather. Listen, I'm not calling out our weather service. Our weather service, they're great forecasters. And I do understand this is a tough forecast, but I just can't help but feel that their numbers are a little bit on the low side. I think the storm's going to overachieve, potentially could overachieve. But remember, that pocket of cold air has to line up with that heavy precipitation, and it has to precipitate for a long time to overcome those warmer temperatures at the Earth's surface. But don't be surprised if you're, if some of those guys, if you're watching me from out west, wind up getting a foot of snow. Now, I'm not saying that happens in our area. That would be abnormal to get that much, but it's not out of the question. Not out of the question at all. So. All right, so let's try to see about answering some of you guys' questions here. So we'll go full screen. And I'm going to add, I think, let me see, where is this at here? I'm going to try to add chat box is what I'm looking for. All right, so there's my chat box there. We'll put it over here. And we'll go right there. That way you guys can see. All right. So you guys can ask me questions in there, and they pop up. They're popping up way, way too fast. So, all right. So let me see if I can move over here. I need to make that background to where you can, the text where you can see it. So, all right. So let's look here and see what we have going on here at the time. All right. Excuse me, I'm sitting here burping. Yeah, Eric, I do. Eric's talking about Eric Fox, a good friend of mine, asking. He says, I think they'll see the Weather Service get more aggressive overnight. They probably will. They usually do. So we'll see what happens. A lot of times they're and I understand, the concern, and a lot of times they just want to kind of fill it out and kind of see how everything evolves. I kind of understand that. So, Clyde, I don't know. You might. It's not out of the question you could get a couple inches up there. I wouldn't be out of the question you could get 4 or 5 inches there, but I think the heaviest is going to be just to your west there, just west of Lawton. Benjamin, you could get some decent snowfall amounts. I mean, hard to say. I haven't just broken down the numbers out there, but if you can get in one of those heavier snow bands, you could easily get up to 6 inches, maybe more. Yeah, you're kind of a little bit maybe south of where the heaviest may be, but it's close. Oh, I'd say tomorrow morning, or at least by midday tomorrow, Anissa, and you could be in the bullseye. You could get hit really hard, dumped on with this one. Now, with this being a wet snow and the temperatures above freezing at the Earth's surface, don't be surprised if the roadways are just wet and maybe slushy. Of course, if it snows heavy enough, you're going to get slush on the roads regardless. But and that can make it dangerous in itself. But this is not a situation where you're looking at slick roadways, because you're not looking at ice. You're looking at snow, and it's slushy. So the roads probably won't be slick, but I would expect at least slushy. And if it can get up to a foot, you better believe you get up to a foot of snow, it's going to be really hard to travel in that. So you'll get stuck in whatnot. I'm like driving in mud. So stay off the roads tomorrow, especially if you got to go west. Here in the falls, I don't think we see a whole lot. Okay. If I had a graphic, and everything you see here is still a work in progress, and I just haven't been able to get in here and really dig through everything and figure everything out here. But and there's a lot of bugs I've still got to work out with all of this. Of course, my dogs are talking to me in the background. You can hear them. But if I had a graphic here, and I'm working on building some stuff to have some graphics to do this stuff with, because let's just face it, this is where it's all at now. Everybody is doing streaming from home. But if I had graphics, I would say that I would put Wichita Falls in the 0 to 1 range, which means I do think we'll see some snow, but I don't know that we'll see a long enough duration of heavy snow to be able to really add up the accumulations here. If it snows hard enough, we could get some slush that may try to accumulate on the grass, but I do not expect issues on the roadways. So grass, maybe some slush on the grass. I don't expect school closures, at least here on a Monday, but out west will be a different story, I think. So we get 45 inches in Loving. I would think so. Um, and I don't think we get into the snow here until late in the day or tomorrow evening. I'm saying 4, 5, 6 o'clock before we get any transitions here. Totally different setup, Nancy. This is not going to be a repeat of that, but this is going to be windy. It's going to be a wind-driven snow for sure. But we're dealing with that system. We had Arctic air coming in on the backside of it, and it was a lot easier to transition to snow there, and for all of it to accumulate. This is different. We don't have any Arctic air this time. This is going to be just the storm system itself generating the cold air. That is it. So, um, happy birthday, Mister. Oh, come on, really, Keller? I picked up on that. You're funny. Hey Donna, I think y'all could get whacked over there in Vernon. I think yeah, I could easily see you guys getting above 6 inches. Yeah, you could get quite a bit over there. I mean, honestly, you could. So Amanda, those places you're talking about looks like snowfall amounts would be light, and I do not expect travel issues at this time. Yeah, it could be very windy as that low pressure gets going west of us, east of us. It could get real windy. So yeah, I mean, in those places that see heavy snow, the visibilities are going to drop. So that's going to make a problem too. I wouldn't plan on traveling out west. I mean, I really here in the falls, I'm just not that concerned. Again, tomorrow evening there will be some snow here in the falls, Mercedes, but I'm just thinking most of it's going to be light. Maybe a pocket or two of heavier snow, just based upon data I'm seeing now. Accumulations, if any, would probably be light. I'm going 0 to 1 here, and even less than that. The further east you go, I don't even know that you'll even see snow. So we're kind of on the edge of what's called the dry slot, and the dry slot is when you have these storm systems that form. They're a comma, right? So what you find is in these storm systems, you find that you have the warm what's called warm conveyor belt, and that warm where the warm conveyor belt is, that heavy rain associated with it wraps around back into the cold air, and then right in the center you get this dry slot that pushes on up. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. Wichita Falls looks very close to being in that dry slot. So that's why I'm thinking that we're not going to see. That means we probably would see heavy rain in the morning and probably give way. It may even not even rain much until we get into the evening, and then you get that wraparound moisture on the backside. But I just don't think we see a long enough duration of precipitation here to get a lot of snow here in the falls, at least. But of course, that could change if the track just changes a little bit. We could get in on that. So we'll see, Eric. I'm ready for the spring too, man. We'll see. We're transitioning hard out of El Nino to La Nina by the summer, but yeah, I think we still got enough left over. We should see some action, I would think. Yeah, I'm much better at forecasting storms than I am uh, winter storms, like thunderstorms. So Zeke, a lot of people up there towards Tuttle, a lot of people are really downplaying the Oklahoma City area, and I do understand why, but I think you're going to get into some decent snow tomorrow evening. And I can see you guys getting a couple inches, maybe 3 or 4 inches there in Tuttle. It wouldn't be surprising at all. Good evening, Diana. Anything in Waxahachie? No, you're not going. You'll get some thunderstorms tonight, but no snow there tomorrow. Shane Howell says it's going to be a big old bus, huh, Keller? Oh man, travel conditions, Hollis Quanah look terrible tomorrow. Tomorrow even no. No, you're not gonna be. I don't think you're gonna be able to travel over there. So no. Tamara, if I had to put Vernon, I'd say plus 6 inches. It's not out of the question. It's very possible. Chattanooga, you could, you're close. You could get some good snow there too. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if you got, 6 inches or better. Mostly rain, Scott. You might see it end as some snow flurries tomorrow night, but I don't think you see much there. Oh yeah, I know that was a horrible storm there, Jennifer. You're right. Upper level low track is slower and colder. Well, I mean, I don't think that the Cameron, that's Weatherman Cam there. I don't think that the upper level low has ever been the temperatures anyway have ever really been a concern with it. The track of it is what is pivotal. And every one of our computer models are showing big snows with this in those areas we talked about it a minute ago. So I just don't see any way that we're not going to get some big snows out west. Cody, I apologize, man, but it don't look like you're gonna. I'll give you a call, Eric. Cody, I don't think Graham gets a lot. I think you're going to wind up getting dry slotted, and I think by the time that pocket of cold air gets there, you're going to miss out. You may see some snowflakes, but I don't think you get any accumulations there. Waxahachie. Oh, so I said it wrong. Waxahachie. Um, that's Daisy, that's actually a pretty good forecast there. I'm not disagreeing with 3 to 6 there in Seymour. You could get that. You may wind up getting more. And again, I'm not trying to slam a weather service camera, but I just haven't agreed with their forecast at all today. I mean, every computer model that we look at to help us forecast has been way higher than what they've been showing. So, well, Ellie, it just depends on where you're at. I don't know where Kilowatt, Washington even is. I think Kroll's going to get dumped on. I think you get above 6 inches. That wouldn't be surprising to me if you wind up getting up close to 10 inches. Christopher, man, that's a long way to drive. Um, I would go Tennessee, Arkansas. Yeah, that's how I would avoid Illinois, Missouri because this storm kind of tracks over there on Monday. So yeah, yeah, William, I'm not, and I certainly am not trying to call out our weather service at all because those guys are great at what they do. They're fantastic. They're great business partners. They're wonderful at what they do. But it's okay for me to disagree with them a little bit. And they probably and I understand that this is a situation where some of these where you could wind up seeing this stuff melt out pretty fast. But I've also seen these situations where it doesn't matter. It's snowing so hard it doesn't matter. Back in 1997, I felt like an old man. Oh, back in 1997. Well, back in 1997, I had just started learning about how to forecast weather. I was actually in my first year of meteorology school, and we had one of these situations in Jackson, Mississippi, where the upper level low pressure system like this was coming overhead. And, of course, back then I didn't know what I was looking at. So I watched the local forecast that night. And the guy that was doing weather, guy by the name of Ross Runner, fantastic dude, good meteorologist too now. He said that there could be some sprinkles or some snow flurries. Well, I went out that night with some friends of mine, had a couple drinks and whatnot, what young people do. And well, we had some snow flurries falling outside. I was like, oh, there's those flurries Ross was talking about. So I go back inside the I guess it's a bar, and come back out, and there's snow all over everything, and it snowed. So I was excited. Oh, it's probably about to end. Went home and turned the weather channel on, and there was snow all over the radar, and it snowed all. We wound up getting like 8 inches of snow. So there's an old saying with these things: upper level lows are weatherman bows because they are very hard to forecast, very hard. So Tom, I've seen these things move across the area. It looks active, and you say, "Wow, if it holds up in the spring, we're going to see an active, severe weather season." And then we get the spring, and nothing. It all goes away. It just seems like every May it's that way now. So I mean, I'm going to go with more of an active spring tornado season for the area. I'm going to say that, but it wouldn't surprise me if we wind up not getting a whole lot. So we'll just see. We need the rain. My tank is finally full though. Wow, it's filled up. Um, well, I mean, you're going to Vernon. Tomorrow afternoon's when it should snow pretty heavily there. So I would stay off the roads, Vernon westward. That's where it's the worst. That's where this winter storm is going to be. If you're traveling west of Vernon, into Quanah, up towards Altus, back towards Hollis or Childress, or over towards Plainview, any of those areas don't. Amarillo, Lubbock don't. Heaviest snow is going to be south of Amarillo, but you got to travel 287 to get there. You're going to get stuck. So don't go up. Don't go in the Panhandle tomorrow afternoon. Looks really bad. In Burt again, kind of like Wichita Falls, I'm going 0 to 1. But there may be a part of Wichita County that winds up getting more. It just depends on. It's called mesoscale snow boundaries, and you don't know where those bands of heavier snow will set up until it actually you start getting closer to the event. So if we do get in one of those little enhanced bands across northwestern Wichita County, and it's possible there could be a little bit more. So Electra, maybe up towards Burt Burnett, there could be a little more than 0 to 1, but I'm gonna stick with 0 to 1 for right now. So, and my dogs will not quit barking; they are going nuts out there. Well, Deanna, out west in the morning, and I'm talking about way out west, and then tomorrow, you'll see that rain snow line gradually, move east throughout the day, and looks like that rain snow line should be close to Wichita Falls around 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. And you're welcome. I try to answer all. I mean, I'm not doing anything anyways. I mean, I'm twiddling my thumbs, so I'm not doing anything. So I mean, I could sit in there with the dogs and watch them bark, and there's nothing on TV I'm interested in watching. Of course, I want to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow. So, Cameron, I don't know. I don't think so, really. Cameron says this has been a hair pulling forecast. I really don't think so, man. I mean, I think our forecasts have been pretty good the whole time. We haven't really strayed from it much. It's been about the same. What will make you pull your hair out is if we get into the situation tomorrow and we wind up seeing the that a band of heavy snow develop into Wichita Falls, and then you're like, well, wow, why didn't I see that coming? But based upon the data, I think we're going to be too close to the dry slot for that. And y'all are so welcome. I enjoy being able to talk to you guys. You actually give me somebody to talk to and something to do here on a Saturday night. So, and all you see here, all the stuff behind me here, I've been working. I made an investment because this is where people are at now. People are streaming. The old fashioned way of watching the news for your weather and news and stuff at 5, 6, and 10. It really has changed a lot. I think some of the older folks, like my mom and my dad, they still watch the news, but younger people are here on social media and streaming. So I've made an investment to up my streaming game, if you will. So, and this is a work in progress. I really need to get Cameron Lindsay over here so he can help me get this stuff set up. But for that to happen, my wife needs to let him come over, and well, that's a different story. So, do you expect Seymour to get much? Kids have been asking. Yeah, I think Seymour gonna get a good bit. It wouldn't be surprising to me. We can look at some of the data here, and you know, Seymour is it's a close call to be honest about it. Seymour is kind of in one of those areas where um, it's showing some of the weather information anyway, showing 7 inches of snow down there. But I don't. I think that's going to be. I think that's going to be too heavy. Look at that. Look at the her model showing that 20 inches of snow there northwest of Lawton. But you can see how that sharp cutoff, because this is the dry slot over in here. So it's a big sharp cutoff to where it all is happening at. And I'm just looking. This is an hourly update something here. You can see here we are at 9 a.m. and there's your snow line. Wichita Falls is roughly right there. If you can see my cursor, there's oh you can't see anything because I'm on full mode still. So there we go. Um, so if you look, there's Wichita Falls in there, and look at that heavy snow. If you look and follow this little blue, that's the 540 line. The 540 line just represents a temperature profile in the atmosphere that would be conducive for um, snow to fall, for rain to change to snow. And look at that. Look at those just dark blue colors bands. Those are where those heavy mesoscale convective bands are. And I mean, it just continues to expand. And I mean, I'm just thinking Hardeman County, especially Quanah, Childress, maybe down towards Kroll, and up towards Altus and El Dorado, or whatever it's called, El Dorado. El Dorado, going to get nailed, going to get hammered with this. You know, I think the sweet spot's going to be back in that area. It just feels to me like that's what's going to happen. See, this is showing through 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Snowfall amounts already in Hardeman County up to 8 inches, but you know, that's probably a little bit on the heavy side. But that area back there is going to get it, I think. I wonder what radar is showing right now. Let me switch sources real fast. So here is the radar, and this is GR level 2, by the way. This is something new, and I got to set it up. I don't have anything the way I want it on here yet either. But there's your rain. That's the front edge of your storm system there. Let's change over and look at the preset mask and see if there's any snow showing. That's all rain back there. Um, and I look for this area of rain to increase eastward tonight. That's going to move east. It's going to increase and move east tonight. Um, so look for the rain to increase. Let's see if there's any snow showing up anywhere yet. So I'm going to go back towards Lubbock and give it a minute or two for it to um, pop in here. And not seeing any snow, but you can see the bands of heavy precipitation developing back here. That's all rain. And then we can go up to Amarillo and look. I do like these maps here, but I'm not real good with all of this yet. I just haven't figured everything out yet. But you can see snow now north of Amarillo up towards Dalhart and back into New Mexico there. Some pretty heavy snow developing there too. And I do look for the snow to increase there across the northwest panhandle. That's where that cold pocket of air is located right now, and it'll increase through there I think overnight tonight, and then you'll really see it blowing up down to the south. So back over to me. Let's see what we got here as far as the questions. I don't know, Karen. I do need to get these problems fixed. You're right, and I don't really know how to fix them. That's the problem. Like I don't know why we didn't have audio with you on here earlier. I don't know why I can't plug my Bluetooth earpieces into my computer and be able to hear. I don't know a lot of things about it. I don't even know why on TikTok I can't bring you on there either for whatever reason. So there's a lot of bugs in this I just don't understand. So that's the problem. But hey, the setup is pretty nice though. But there's a lot of work I really need to do on this to get it to where I want it, especially before we get to severe weather season. And I'd like to be able to have you on here tomorrow too with me some. So, but it could be something like it could be a setting on my computer that's keeping all this from happening too. But I don't know. So if anybody out there is a Streamlabs expert, please slide up in my DMs. I think it gets started out west there in Quanah in the morning there sometime. So Who are you guys pulling for in the Super Bowl tomorrow? I think the Swifties are going to win tomorrow. That's my personal thoughts. The Swifties are going to take it all. I'm actually not looking that forward to the game, so I'm just not a big fan of either one of the teams. So I'm not that excited about it. I don't really have a team I'm pulling for tomorrow. So, but I do think the Chiefs will win. I think the Chiefs are the better team. Well, I don't know if the Chiefs are the better team. I think they're both good. They're both great teams. I just think that the Chiefs have the better quarterback, and that's why I think they win. And that Chiefs defense is very underrated because they've been really good. They shut down Lamar Jackson. So yeah, commercials. I always look forward to that, and I'll probably throw something out there on the pellet grill. Y'all, I made a fantastic Mississippi pot roast on my pellet grill last night. It was the best I ever had. It was fantastic, y'all. Fantastic. Corey says he's pulling for the Cowboys. Well, you're gonna be pulling for the. You're gonna be maybe seeing the Cowboys play in your dreams. Because I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys had the team to do it this year. They just didn't. They just again got the playoffs and choked like they always do. So, but this is pretty cool. I do like this setup here though. I tried running this same program off my laptop last year and it sucked. It's a lot better. I like being able to stream. I feel like I can be myself more. Yeah, I'm on YouTube as well, but I don't really see anybody on here that's watching on YouTube. Most everybody's on the Facebook. Zimmer's a good. He's a good defensive guy. He's had some good defenses in the past. So they've got a bet there at Las Vegas. You can bet on everything in the Super Bowl with Las Vegas. They got a bet on the over and the under time for Reba to sing the Star Spangled Banner. I forget what the over under is, but from I heard some gamblers talking about it the other day, and they said that based upon some of her past Star Spangled Banners, expect her to go under the time. So you can bet on that if you want to. I don't think so. I think we might get down to 32 degrees, Linda, but it's going to be hard, hard, hard to get there. Are y'all looking forward to Usher tomorrow halftime show? What's your favorite half? My favorite halftime show was a couple years ago when they had Dr. Dre and Slim and Snoop and Missy Elliott on there. I love that because I'm old. I like the old school rap. That's where I come. My generation liked the old school rap. So that was a good one. Yeah, it's gonna be windy tomorrow too, Stacy. And if you get into that heavy snow with that wind, it could be near blizzard conditions. So it could be pretty rough going out there. If this was a drier snow, a more powdery snow, I'd probably would start buzzing blizzard warnings out there. Honestly, I think the winds might be just below blizzard criteria. I'm hungry. I have to go raid the fridge here in a minute. I wonder if any new data is coming out yet on any of our computer models here. The 2Z runs. Where these models, these computer simulations, they just don't change much. They just all of them look about the same. I mean, it looks pretty rough tomorrow evening there in some of these areas out west. I mean, it really does. And um, this is the 9 p.m. version of her computer model, and notice I just blew how dark it is, and how it just blowing up there on the west side. So I mean, that would get just near west of Lawton, and that would look at Quantico, Vernon getting in on the act. That would be tomorrow at about 3 in the afternoon there. Let's look at winds at this time too. Look at those winds, gusting up 35, 40. So that's some strong winds there. So tomorrow's going to be a raw, just nasty day, honestly. Be a good day to stay inside and watch that Super Bowl. That's what I'm going to do, y'all. This is known as the deformation zone, by the way. This is this area of enhanced lift on the backside of the upper air storm system, and yeah, usually you can see those rates really, really get high in some of these areas here. Parts of Wichita County could get it nailed by this too. I'm not ruling that out. Wendy, you don't want to know when I graduated from high school. No, I'll tell you. I graduated high school in 1995. That tells you how old I am. Nothing likely for Archer City. Yeah, you'll get a little bit down there, but unless there's big changes, I'm gonna go with the 0 to 1 in Archer City. If some of these trends for heavier snow bands continue to kind of fill in further east, then we might would have to put Wichita Falls in some of the heavier snow bands. But right now, I think it's going to be mostly west of us. So, oh, you graduated in '84, yeah, you're a little bit older than me. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that though. I'm like a fine wine. I get older with time. I think it's cool that I can show the questions there on the screen there too. I don't know if y'all can read them or not. I can read them on the side over here. I can't read them on the screen myself. So, but this is a work in progress. We're trying to do a podcast, but I got to get these bugs worked out before I can get anything. Oh, the '80s is the best music there was. I got to get these bugs worked out before we can really dive in deep on the podcast and whatnot. We're starting something that's called Weather and Beyond, or Beyond Weather. Beyond Weather is what we're calling it. Because we're going to do more than just weather. We're going to have all kind of stuff on here on our podcast whenever we finally get it up and running. We've been talking about it for months now, and well, life happens, right? All right. Well, I don't really have a whole lot else to add here to this. My advice tomorrow morning, no issues here in Wichita Falls. I don't think there's going to be big issues here unless things change. I'll let you know. But as of right now, I don't think there'll be major snow here. Tomorrow evening, this time, we should be seeing some at least light snow. Any accumulations appear to be light at the moment here. But I'm telling you, out west, we're talking about you, Vernon, Quanah, Kroll, Altus, Childress, um, maybe over to what's it, Tula, Tula, maybe. Is that what it is? So, and then kind of down towards Paducah, Kroll, maybe even as far east as Seymour, and then maybe even up towards Frederick, and maybe even west of Lawton. Could be some pretty big snows tomorrow, and there could be some really heavy snow in some of those areas. And with those strong winds, it could make traveling very, very dangerous. So my advice to you is just stay off the roads tomorrow. Out west, here in the city, no issues. Just be careful driving around, 'cause it will be wet. And I will have another update here on my Facebook Live and my social media platforms tomorrow after I get a look at the morning data, and we kind of have an idea of how things are going to set up and kind of do. We'll do that tomorrow, and we'll have some updates off and on throughout the day tomorrow. I'm not planning on going anywhere because I'm probably gonna be chilling here at the house. So may go to the store and get something to throw on the grill. I don't know, but well, the pellet smoker is underneath the carport, so I can do that. But anyway, but if anything changes, I'll be sure to let you know. Just kind of check your app and check maybe on the um, check here on social media and see what we got to say, or some of your, I'm sure you got some guys you like to follow. Just remember, when you follow people, make sure they're credible sources. There's so many people out there who give bad information. I mean, there's plenty of good people to follow on weather out there. So just find somebody good you like and go with that. And we'll try to have some updates for you tomorrow morning. Maybe I can even get Cameron in on this and get everything worked out and get it working better. Maybe so. Well, Wendy, you can show up if you want to, but you got to like dogs, and I got a bunch of them. So, all right, I'm gonna jump off here, and I'm gonna go and grab a bite to eat, and I'm gonna get ready for bed. So I will see y'all tomorrow